All right, it's 8:02, so all of you are here on the what I hope is a nice summer evening wherever you are. It certainly is in my part of the world here tonight, so thanks for joining. And we can dive into it. We have a fair amount of stuff to cover here tonight. A lot of it has been the work of Lauren Rich on our team and Jenna Bercheski. But we'll talk about some other things as well. Start out just if anybody has who was on the last call, or if anybody has any questions about anything that was discussed, thought I'd start with that instead of wait till the end. Or if there are any issues somebody wants to bring up right off the top of the meeting, happy to entertain those now. If anybody came to this with something they wanted to talk about, or a follow-up from last week. Look for hands. All right, not seeing any. Maybe we're just excited about summer. But I want to start. We have been working on this Get Ahead of the Games program. And Lauren, I think you're on, right? I'd really love to have Lauren, who's put a lot of work into this so far. There's more work to be done, but give you some idea of what we'll be rolling out in this Olympic year for clubs. Doesn't mean this is all of it, but this is certainly a start. And Lauren, I don't know, do you want to share your screen and walk through some things?
Sure.
All right, great. I think you have screen sharing capability, correct?
Looks like it.
Yep.
Okay. So hopefully you all know, but just in case you don't, we have a new platform for our house, which is our content platform. So we've moved over to an organization called Flow Coach, and we're working with them to make some changes and streamline some things. But for the moment, the best way to use Flow Coach is with this, or our house is with this groups tab up here at the top. That's where a lot of the content that we're going to be putting is going to be organized most clearly for you. So we have a new group called Get Ahead of the Games, where we're just going to be putting as much as we can, materials and resources for you guys to hopefully take advantage of the Olympic wave that's going to come, and make the most of hopefully being able to grow your club if you need it. So right now we have 3 sections in there: operational planning, digital planning, and principal media. So we'll take a look at operational planning. To access the content, you cleverly click Access Content. This is what happens when you join a new session. It says the session has been booked, and now you have access to the materials that are in that session. So a session is just a block of materials, basically, of documents or articles or something that we've put together. So for the operational planning, we have a quick guide to the USPS Every Door Direct Mail program. And Jenna put together some marketing, communications, and tips. So just to preview for you guys how you can put your club out there and connect with media and social media and online stuff and work with your community. And then go back to groups. I did want to show something else that we've been working on under digital planning, where again, just you only have to do this once per session. And here we have, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, so Lauren's taught, we're on the Slow Coach platform. We're trying to make it as intuitive as possible. There are a few things like session could throw you, but session really just means you're getting the content. So
yeah, so there's a curling pathway and then this new curler web page template. So something that we're really hoping can help clubs capture more interest would be to kind of help them tailor their website to capture new curlers and get them the information that they're looking for how to join your club, and also how to try out or how to come out for a learn to curl. And then if they need any just general information about what curling is in general. So we've put together this template, and it's basically just FAQs that hopefully you can answer for your club. So anything marked in red should be, any text box marked in red should be replaced with the specific information from your club. So we have, some general curling things. How can I play at the Olympics? That's a question. We get that a lot. I'm sure you guys get that a lot at Learn to Curls as well.
Or when do I play in the Olympics, really, is what
Yeah.
usually gets.
And not trying to turn anybody off of curling by basically saying you probably won't, but try to frame it and give them other opportunities for competition and things that they might be interested to keep them interested in curling. So then there's club specific stuff. So this is going to be, how do I register for league? How do I get into the club? What's the membership? What are the membership expectations? Can my child play? So I think these are all things that I think people would be interested in knowing, and having easy access to answers to those questions can streamline somebody's access to your club. You can definitely feel free to change these, modify them, update them, delete them. You don't have to do anything with them if you guys don't want this on your website. But this is here that we hope that this would help get people into your club. So that kind of leads me. So this is what we've been working on in our house for get ahead of the games. We've got more content coming that we're going to be putting in here. We've got some templates that you guys can print, and brochures, because brochures are something we get asked about pretty often. So that's not the right. Sorry.
I'll just add quickly, Lauren, on the planning part there. One of the things that, I don't know if anybody's ever heard Bobby Ray from Curling Canada, but he talks a lot about the fact that people come into a curling club without really knowing much about the sport, and sometimes and we're so invested in it that we may not notice this, but sometimes people aren't sure how it works, right? So if I come to a Learn to Curl, what's next? Do I show up, on another weekend like it's a bowling alley? So some of these things may seem sort of obvious to us, but if you imagine that you're brand new to a sport and just walking into a curling facility for the first time, I think that these are the kind of things that can be valuable.
So one of the other things that we've been working on, this is kind of an extension of that new curler intro to curling webpage template that's in that PDF in our house. For clubs who use Warm Room Hero to host their websites, Anthony has created this page in your backend for you. So all you have to do, you don't have to create the page yourself. All you have to do is just populate the answers. So at the moment, some of the red stuff is hard to read on that red box, but he's already added all of the questions that we had in the template for you. And this will obviously be provided with your club's theme when you're using the website. And he does still have USA Curling member club pricing, where USA Curling member clubs start at year 3. So if anybody's looking to switch, Warm Room Hero has this template available for you.
And for anybody who doesn't know Warm Room Hero, it's Anthony was at Garco, was at Windy City. Software developer developed this platform. There are a number of clubs that use it. You've probably heard it he's been a sponsor of webcasts over the years. I do encourage you, if you are looking for a great platform, I'd encourage you to look at this one. It's got, he does have member club preferred pricing. And anybody I've talked to who has moved to it has been, and I'm not saying this just because he has sponsored our webcast, but anybody I've talked to who has used it is really quite positive on it. I think one of the things that's valuable is, he knows sort of how a curling club works, and it's an intuitive process. Now, I understand, just like anybody else, if you have a platform you use now, you may be reluctant to switch, but anybody who's on it will get this sort of thing. And if you do switch, you can access this as well.
So just one more thing that I kind of wanted to share with everybody here is another thing that we've been working on our site. Like this is the theme of the evening, is how to teach people about curling. So we have this new under Start Curling, we have an intro to curling page, and similarly we have FAQs. It's mostly FAQs, but obviously the questions that we ask or that we get asked and that we have answers to are going to be very different than yours. So I think it's still important for clubs to be able to answer those club specific questions. How do I get to the league? How do I play curling at your club? Versus these are just kind of just more generic things. And a lot of these are trying to encourage people to go to their club, to go check out your websites and go to your clubs and hopefully try curling and stick with curling. So we also have some basics of curling, things that need to be described a lot to new curlers. And then at the very bottom, we've used with permission a glossary of terms from the Silicon Valley Curling Club that they have on that on their website as well. So I think that's all I wanted to talk up and brag
Awesome.
about.
No, and we even have explanation of the scoreboard. So if people come in and wonder about the scoreboard, you might have a leg up on trying to help them understand a curling club scoreboard, which I will say continues to vex some of our independent directors who come from outside the sport. But one of the reasons we want to try to invest in this sort of thing is if you are a club that, and I know there are clubs out there that are probably, they are at or near capacity. But if you're a club where you really want to grow your membership, I think one of the most important things is to consider your conversion rate. So we're pretty good at the Olympics. I think during the Olympics, participation will happen organically, but the more we can explain, your journey in the game or what it's like to, what you need when you first get out there. I think all those things will help conversion rates. And I think that's, the last Olympics, I remember when I was in my previous position, I started talking to clubs about conversion rates. And I think about the highest one I heard was 15%, which I think was at Triangle. So we can obviously all improve that. And I think sometimes it's worth stepping back and thinking about, what's the experience like for people when they come in. And I know I can be overly enthusiastic about curling, and every time I step on an elevator, try to get people to start curling. And sometimes we have to step back and say, okay, what's really going to get them to try it and stick with it? So more to come on that, but I would appreciate it if you at least if you share with your clubs that what's on the site now, what's in the works, and make sure people are aware of it. And if you're in our house, we think it's going to be a much better platform than what we had before. It's dynamic and we can do a lot of things with video going forward. We can do a lot of things with education. We're not at the point where, it'll never be sort of a done thing. So there's still work to do on it. And there's some things we're working with them on to make it line up more with our sport. And there's a few things that maybe, we don't feel are quite as intuitive, but they're a good partner. And we think long term it's going to be a much better content platform and a place for people to find information. So any questions on any of that? Anything people would like to add or suggest? Let's see if I see any hands. Everybody having summer beverage maybe. So that's our work so far and get ahead of the games. The other thing, and I'm going to throw it back to Lauren to talk about it again, but you may have seen on our website, we had a release about membership upgrades and how those are going to be handled. So not to make you continue to talk, Lauren, but can you explain a little bit what you did with membership upgrades with Sport 80 to make it a little simpler for everybody?
Yeah, so previously your membership was basic or competitor or silver or gold. And now we've basically just split those upgrades away from the basic and youth memberships. So everybody now has a basic membership or a youth membership. That's all that shows up in the membership tab of your profile. If you want to have an upgraded membership, or if you have an upgraded membership, there's a new menu option on your profile menu that says membership upgrades. So that's where your 2025, if you have a membership, an upgrade already, that's where your 2025 competitor or coach or silver gold upgrade lives. And you can also buy the 2026 upgrades there as well. So upgrades are valid for events in the calendar year that they're labeled with. So if you want to play at Arena Nationals this year, then you have to have a 2025 membership upgrade. If you want to play at Club Nationals next year, because Club Nationals is going to be in the winter in 2026, then your 2020 you'll need the 2026 upgrade for that. So Jim has asked, how does that work if you're on auto renewal? Right now, your auto renewal will it will just renew your basic membership. You'll still have to go in and buy your membership upgrade separately. Because the upgrades are now a different item, I couldn't turn on auto renew for those. And I believe that if you try to have auto renew on for your 2025 membership, I don't believe that it will auto renew to 2026 because like I said, it's a separate item, just in how the platform is set up. I don't know that you can necessarily have auto renew on for the upgrades anymore.
But we love that you're on auto renew, Jim. So that's appreciated.
And then the last thing there is that I think right now there are some mislabeled expiration dates, but we're working to correct that with Sport 80. But right now, everyone's memberships should be set to expire instead of 11/30/2025. Everything's going to 12/31/2025. So it's all in the calendar year now. There's not going to be that weird month of ambiguity, I guess, between the season and the year. And yeah, it's all just calendar year now.
Which is another thing, if you get asked at your club, to make sure people know that everybody's basically getting a bonus month of membership this year. Not really, but how it rolls through, and it'll be easier being on the calendar year. One of the things, Jim, too, if we had, there have been people in the past, maybe if they were an auto renewal for a particular membership, they may not have wanted to auto renew that particular membership the next year, which made it difficult and not great for our members. So we think this will help the process and just simplify it a bit for everybody. So and full credit to Lauren for doing a lot of work with Sport 80, which can be challenging at times because, like all software platforms, they have sort of a lot of their own rules, etc. And our membership model, frankly, doesn't line up with what they do with a lot of other organizations. So there's a lot of work that needs to go through to explain how our model works and how we want it to work. So hopefully that's better for everybody. I think it will be. That's the intent, and I hope the calendar year membership year works a little better now too. So if there's no questions on that, I'll go to the next thing on here, which is members assembly programming. I'll just preview what we're planning to offer at the members assembly in Las Vegas. We will planning to offer a level 2 coach course. We're planning to offer an analytics, game scoring, shooting percentage course. We have plans for a special program for curlers with 5 years of experience or less about the game. And then the other thing we'll be aiming to offer there are some instructional clinics. So those are all things we hope to add to the schedule in Las Vegas, and we should have that out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. There was a release out about the Las Vegas Members Assembly. I think actually hotel rooms were actually booking fairly quickly. So if you do want to attend, look at that. The hotel for it is the Orleans, which is where World Championships were held when they were in Las Vegas. It's probably about, I don't know if anybody from Vegas is on, but 10 to 15 minutes from the club. So we're also working on some transportation around that. And I don't know if the Bonspiel there is full or not. I know last year it filled up right away, but If you're not in it, check out the Bonspiel that's going to run at the same time. And the schedule for that will be the members meeting on Friday night, which is the 19th of September, and then programming on the 20th and the 21st. And there's in the morning of the 21st on the Sunday, and there's a Hall of Fame induction ceremony for former USA Curling chair and one-time interim CEO as well of USA Curling, Rich Lepping, on Saturday night. So that's the programming that's coming together for that. Trying to pull that together as quickly as possible. Appreciate all the help from Curl Vegas and Brad Whitlock there, and also the Las Vegas Visitors and Convention Authority has been very helpful. So if you are thinking about it, I think it'll be a really good members assembly. We continue to try to make that a more robust gathering than maybe it once was. Yeah, Jonathan. So level 2 coaching, game scoring, and a level 2. I think we said level 2. Is that right, Lauren? Level 2 instructor course.
I believe that's what we're trying to get. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we're going to pull together, and also a new program we're developing. It'll probably be just one morning, Sunday morning, for curlers with 5 years of experience or less. So, and that'll be delivered by USA Curling staff, and we'll have more information on that pretty shortly. The other thing, and I know we've talked about this forever, so maybe I'll share my screen a bit here, but the One Day Curler membership, we are actually ready to take that live on July 1st is our plan. So we're working with, for that, we're not working with Sport 80. We're doing it with a platform called Activity Messenger. And for people who haven't been on before, it's entirely voluntary for a club to do. But what we're hoping is that when clubs have events, whether it's private events or Learn to Curls or corporate events, you encourage the members or require the members to get a One Day Curler membership. And if you haven't already heard this from me, what we're going to do, that will provide them with some participant accident insurance coverage. We're also going to offer a discount in the online store. And then we're going to, use the data we get to market to these people, not just for our own sake, by the way, but to encourage them to go back out and try curling again, assuming they will likely do that at the club where they tried it first. Let me just pull up share my screen. So this is, the real goal. We're trying to keep the process as frictionless as possible. Now, I know last week, I think maybe Mike from Superior asked about, could somebody fill it in for everybody? And we really don't think that's totally possible right now because of insurance. We want to know each person. But right now, someone would come in, they're going to sign up as a One Day Curler. We'll tell them, welcome to the amazing curling community. We'll give them a discount of $10 on any purchase of $50 more in our store. That'll be a one-time use discount code. And then they will get that participant accident insurance when they coverage up to $10,000, which while every club has member clubs have our general liability insurance and maybe other coverage they might have, we think that having a little bit of extra participant accident insurance for those people just might make it less likely that you have to use your general liability and get into some sort of legal fracas with somebody. And then the other thing that will happen is people can go on, and I think Circle City might do this right now, but they can go in and I think some other clubs do too, but complete the waiver online. They complete the date. There's if they need to do a youth waiver, they can do that, sign it, and then when they come to the club, they should have an email receipt, a confirmation page that shows exactly what they got, and that they're good to go. I think they'll get a payment confirmation as well, or an invoice, and they could show that to the club. So again, entirely optional. There's probably at least a few clubs that have expressed interest in this, and we'll probably pilot this with them and then go from there. But Eric, you have your hand up, so I'll go to you.
I guess my question is the members assembly Sunday morning, you mentioned 5 and under. Would that be to help the club develop a 5 and under program, or is that a gathering for 5 and under members to kind of network and share information?
Yeah, it's the latter, Eric. Just not even so much network, but maybe give them a real download on the game for people. You know, we've always noted that there's people in that group are really hungry for information. So we want to tailor a program to them about how they can advance in the sport.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Partly because our 5 and under curlers are so incredibly enthusiastic that we want to give them another reason to attend. So that's that. That's the one-day curler launch. I think maybe I think it was somebody from this group who actually suggested the discount, so appreciate that. Lauren, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say that Lauren Whitmer has a question in the chat.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lauren. Or it's in the chat. How much is a personal? Oh, so the whole membership is $5, and that includes the insurance. So the insurance, I think, will work out to about $250 or slightly less per person.
Oh no, that wasn't my question. I was wondering how much coverage it gives them.
Oh, sorry, it's $10,000. It's not a ton for $2.50, but it's $10,000, and there is a deductible. But yeah,
that's significant. Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, there is a I think the deductible is $250 or something, but you know, if you talk to anybody in insurance, they'll suggest you want to have some deductible just to avoid nuisance claims is what they call them, whatever. But yeah, so $10,000 if a person has an ER visit and maybe they don't have health insurance, that might keep the club from having to deal with it more than that. So thanks, Lauren. I have mixed doubles nationals host site on here. That's still one host site we're looking for, hoping to do that in January. That's one, but I don't know if Phil Bruce is on from Cape Cod, but many thanks to Phil and Cape Cod because they're taking on the junior mixed doubles nationals. They're going to do that in Cape Cod next March. So got that covered. Much appreciated. One of the things we like it, we have a 12-team field in the junior mixed doubles nationals, the same as our mixed fours. And just for anybody at a smaller club with fewer sheets, you can know that 3 sheets can actually can accommodate a national championship. So that's by design, and we're excited to take it to a 3-sheet club on the East Coast. Yeah, Todd. So yeah, I would recommend the one-day curler membership for every youth for a couple reasons. One is, selfishly, we'd like to have know how many people are doing things, how many people are trying curling, and if it's a youth participant, that only helps us. Doesn't mean we're going to bombard them with information either. I just mean when we go out and talk to potential partners, and we can say X amount of youth tried our sport, that's a good sell. And then you get a little extra coverage for them, and maybe they buy something in our store, and maybe they get a little more connected to the sport. So we'd recommend it for everybody doing an event, but I also know I was a club president. I know that you might have your own systems in place and may not be super excited to add something, but like I said, I think a club will be able to just share a link and make it really pretty easy for people to get it. One of the reasons we're not using Sport 80, quite to be transparent, is that their process for it was going to be too complex in our mind. It was going to be about creating a profile, et cetera. So we'll get that out of the way. And then, when people come to your club, if they have it, you don't have to worry about waivers or making sure that everybody has signed one. If they show you that one-day curler membership, they've signed a waiver as well. And I think Lisa Rudolph's on, but the last, no, we won't share, Mike, we won't share data with third parties. It'll only be connections with us, and that'll be made clear in the when they sign up. So yeah, we don't share any of our lists with third parties. So, but it will, we do see it as an opportunity to say, hey, you tried curling. Do you want to try it again? Which I think would be valuable. And I know, again, I know a lot of clubs probably do that on their own. I also know there's a lot of clubs that, were driven by volunteers, and that may not be something that, people can find the time to do, quite frankly. So I think we can, and I look forward to doing that to help bolster future visits. I think Lisa Rudolph from Minnesota Curling Association is on. So there's a jigsaw puzzle in the works, and we're not exactly sure what we're going to do here yet. But actually, Lisa came with this idea, and I know that the Netherlands Curling Association had this at the last World Curling meeting I was at, and it was pretty interesting. So there's a design for it. I think one of the things we're debating is whether there's club names on it or which clubs. So Lisa, I'm sort of throwing you out here, Lisa, but if you want to just explain a little bit how it worked. We haven't quite figured out what to put on it yet, but that's something that's in the works.
Sure. Thanks, Dane. So I found a way for us to get a little more curling promotion with a jigsaw puzzle. If any of you are into puzzling, particularly in the upper Midwest, you may be familiar with the Puzzle Twist brand. That's who I've been working with. It's a good quality puzzle, nice linen paper on top, so real nice to work with. Here's kind of the style of puzzle we're looking at. There'll be a blurb on the side about the artist. We'll also have a blurb on the side about curling generically, 2 or 3 sentences. And then on the inside, we'll have an insert, something kind of like this, that will have some curling trivia, more info about curling. It'll have a link to the Find a Club page for USA Curling to get potential curlers in there, find a way to find your club. I can show you here also the rough sketch we're working with. Where did that go? But here's that. You can kind of see it there. There's not a lot of detail there yet. We're still putting that in. One of the working ideas is including some club logos in there for some additional visual interest. And we obviously can't include close to 200 club logos on this puzzle. So it's how do we choose which logos? I wanted to throw it out to you guys. If you're interested, let me know. And we'll do some sort of, how many you want to get in there. We'll do some sort of lottery among interested clubs. You'll have a little blurb on that insert if you're included. And we'll try and get some sort of diversity, a representation here, whether it's geographic, size, arena, dedicated, oldest, newest, and then also depending on how the final artwork plays out, the shape of your logo could matter too. If we need something this shape to get into a spot, pick a logo that is there. So is it reasonable, do you think, to let me know within 2 weeks if your club is interested to be included?
And we may be able to do this each year, right, Lisa? So we could have
for sure.
different clubs in different years and different versions of the puzzle, because I mean, I'll never get this puzzle put together, so I only need one. But other people who finish it might want another one.
Right. No cost for clubs to participate.
It's always a good question, so that'll lead to lots of people interested. So, which is good.
Yeah, the puzzle company is absorbing all costs to produce this puzzle. I'll put my email address here in the chat.
Great. This is also part of our conversion rate thing where we you know, you don't let people leave the club until the puzzle is finished.
right?
I don't know if
So
that
one
will
of my
help,
hopes with the
actually.
puzzle is in a few places to do a speed puzzle contest with it.
Wow, there you
So
go.
that'll get a little faster with that one,
All
which
right.
is a way to get more people in front of it. So did I explain that well, Dean?
I think so. I think that's great. That's great, Lisa. Let's see who's interested, and we'll go from there. Like you said, we won't have every club, but you know, we could go make this an annual sort of thing. And I don't know if that's possible. I just threw that out there now, Lisa, but
Yeah,
if
if
it
sales
is,
are
that'd be
good,
great.
he'll keep doing it.
Okay, great.
So
Well, pretty soon it'll be like choosing 5 and under qualifier bonspiels. It'll be a hot topic, and people people get mad with whatever
I'll
we
get mad at
decide.
me.
Um, yeah. Yeah, appreciate that, Lisa.
Yeah,
And
of course.
one thing that's not on the agenda that I'll add is the qualifying procedures for each event. We're hoping to have those out this week. We do have a meeting. Uh, we always share that with the Athletes Advisory Council. We have a meeting with them on Monday, and hopefully after that, we'll have the qualifying procedures live on our site for everything. Couple areas that, I mean, I don't think anybody should expect dramatic changes from what we had last year for qualifying procedures. But there are a few things that we wanted to improve, add some language for better clarity on a few things. So we can always, I've always said that there's no rule book that can't be improved. So we will improve that. And we do have some events like Junior Mixed Doubles Nationals, which will be a new process. So look for that next week if you have people asking. I know probably there might be juniors especially asking about mixed doubles. You can tell them that'll be coming out hopefully by next week after we meet with the Athletes Advisory Council and review their thoughts on it. And I think Phil is on, but we haven't announced the Junior Mixed Doubles Nationals quite yet, but we will do that shortly. I was trying to tie that into I want to tie that into the qualifying procedure. Usually we announce a site for a national site as soon as we know it. We announce it widely, but do want to make sure we have these qualifying procedures for that nailed down since it's a new event. So. And then we'll announce that. I don't know if anybody else saw, we announced at Seattle Granite. I think Phil Shryock's on, thanks to Phil and the group there. I don't know if Shannon's on or not, but Shannon Brown, but they took on 5 and under nationals. So that'll be exciting to have it at the Granite Club in Seattle in their 75th anniversary. 5-sheet club. So if you've played in it before, and it's typically been on 6-sheet clubs, but we'll use the same 2014 draw that we used at the Club Nationals this past year in Milwaukee. That worked pretty well. Yeah, Phil, we're excited to have be in Cape Cod, and we're excited to be in Seattle. We'll go coast to coast on those two events, so that's exciting. Yeah, it's a big seafood season for the national championships next year. So that's all I have. So I don't know, and I think that's all Lauren has, unless she wants to add more. But many thanks to Lauren and Jenna for the work they're doing on that, and get ahead of the games. If there's any other new business or any other conversations that people want to have, this is a time to do it. Also know it's June 11th, and for many of us, the first nice part of the summer. So a lot of us might be happy if this doesn't last too long. Well, I don't know if somebody, I see Bernie's on from Huntsville, and I think maybe I saw Abby on from Huntsville too, but the 5 and under nationals a little earlier than the past, but also Huntsville is the last bonspiel of the qualifier season, and it's a little earlier. So there's still a 3-week gap between that and the nationals, which we always try to have at least 3 weeks so that people can take advantage of that kind of airfare. All right. Well, with that, I think I'll wrap it up and say how much we appreciate everybody joining these calls. And again, always feel free to, if there's something you'd like to see on the agenda next week, next month, please feel free to send us an email. And I guess my one other thought I'll leave you with is thoughts on a mixed doubles nationals host. That'll be a 16-team event. So 4-sheet clubs can do it. We'd love to be in a slightly larger club, even 5, because that is an event we do like to be able to sell tickets for. And if we can sell some on-ice tickets, it's valuable. But also not the end of the world if it's a 4-sheet club, because we're likely to just only sell tickets for the finals and the page games when we can use fewer sheets and we can put some people out in the ice area. Yeah, Lauren's adding there's a town hall in a couple of weeks. I tried to put a couple of controversial topics in there to get attendance, drive up attendance, but you can find out information about that. We have our slate of independent directors now. We've added 2 new ones, Oscar Wong and Rachel Nichols, in addition to Paul Wilson, who's been an independent director since May of 23. Paul, for people who don't know, used to be the head of Olympic ad sales at NBC. So he's been a great value to us in terms of as we navigate sponsorships. And just so, I mean, I'm going to share this at the town hall, but because all of you are good enough to show up to these, independent directors, we're required by the USOPC to have a certain number of independent directors, relation to the size of our board. So we're required to have 3. And what they really bring is quite valuable, an outside perspective. We try to find people who have some expertise in areas like finance or sponsorships or media. So that's what we look for when we add them, and we're grateful to have the group that we do. So yeah, so if you want to join the town hall, or if you want to make sure your club knows about it, we'll try to promote a little bit more. Oh, thanks, Robert. Appreciate that. I think the last town hall had 3 people on it, so we're trying to get a few more in this one. But yeah, so that's in the works too. We're a little more ahead of it this time, so maybe we'll have a few more people show up. Hopefully it's raining or something across the country on the night of the town hall. So all right, thanks everybody.